Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say go so, the remix.
DMB, Tuck Spice, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like them other dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us on your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. But then it took a long fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so charmed. I felt the sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, a killing eye. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a cocoa bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk. She must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger. We look good together. Take your place in my heart. With your beauty I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. One beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money, you seen her? Hot Ice, have you seen her? LP, have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look,
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace of her presents and gifts, call me Santa. Claus, I make her heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy.
boy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and cut I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'm a go-getter. Since I'm a go-getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling night, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Hey, what's going on? If you can hear me loud and clear, let me know you can hear me loud and clear. Shout out to you, D Love. How now? How you day? She said, Baba Bala Blue, Irony, you will not rig my network like you rigged the elections. I'm here by fire, by force. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And shout out to all the 5 people watching me live. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Okay, let's call everybody into the room. Hit that like button. We're back to business as usual. Okay, I figured that we should leave the politics things alone and just get back to business. There's a reason why we started Man of Prestige, and I want to make sure that we don't lose focus. Okay, regardless if it's trendy or not, all that kind of stuff. But we're here, right? Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, my sister. Yes, so yeah, we're here to talk about some interesting stuff. Let's go through some house rules really quickly. As you're coming in, please do me a favor, hit that like, share, and subscribe. If in case you're brand new, hit that like at least. Thank you so much for doing that right away. All right, and over here, Man of Prestige, again, my name is Ola. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Over here, we'll talk about relationships. We'll talk about power, seduction, attraction, emotional intelligence, patience, and love. And if we have some time, we'll talk about some marriage stuff too, you know. We end up talking about marriage anyway, you know. But yeah, if you're interested, I know you are. These books, you can grab them absolutely for free at loveandprestige.com. There are 4 books here. There's one on marriage, there's one on digital marketing, and there's 2 on real estate for United States real estate precisely. Okay, so shout out to those people that always make their way there every after show. I do see it when you go there, so shout out to you. If you're looking for more customized coaching, we can only go so much into we can't go into too many details here. So if you want customized, you want 101 coaching, yeah, that's what this is for. So you want to go there quickly because you know, time is of the essence. There's only so much time on any given calendar. So, and if you're not yet, if you want to be notified by me, just join us on WhatsApp, rolanola.com/WhatsApp. That's where you can join us. All right. And like I said, do me a favor, hit that like button right now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, I've got something we want to cover today. A huge lesson. Okay. Then I got 2 additional stories to that, and we're gonna call it a day. Keep in mind, next week, it looks like next week we might go back to starting a little bit later. Sorry for those of you in the UK. You can always watch the recording the following day, the re-release, the rebroadcast, all that kind of stuff. The more you hit the like, hit the rebroadcast, and you're making sure you're engaging them, the more the algorithms will show them to you. Okay. So just that's how you teach the algorithm. You have to teach it to show me this video by hitting the like button, by, you know, making sure you're commenting on those videos. All right. So now, welcome. Yeah, let me keep this on the screen. As you're coming in, hit the like button. We have this story that we're going to cover today. This story right here, we're going to cover it today. I'm going to read it first and I'll go back and then I'll analyze it. Okay. I'm going to read it first, then I'll go back, then I'll analyze it. All right. So without any further ado, let's get into the details. Okay. So it says, we have determined that my husband is avoidant attachment and I am anxious attachment. So what that means is that I am constantly the chaser. Okay. I am always the one planning our dates for us to be with each other. Personally, like on date nights to cuddle, to just hang out with me at dinner and have a glass of wine. We will do those things, but I am chasing him to hang out with me. For a while, I was the chaser for sex, which I hated, being the initiator in that. But he started taking testosterone. And that helped a bit with that. He is an incredible father and provider. Although I do make plenty of money myself, he does plan family outings because his family is very important to him, which, yes, is wonderful. But he's not madly in love with me. He says he is, but after delving deep, he said he is, but after delving deep into this avoidant attachment thing, I don't think he knows what being truly in love is. And don't get me wrong, yes, I understand that feeling of being in love with someone fades into more of a partnership. So I am not trying to be unrealistic, but at the same time, I am still the chaser in our relationship. So yes, I feel that he would protect me, take care of me like someone takes care of their child, provide for me, be there for me through sickness and health, but I will forever miss him desiring to be with me alone. He will do it, but he has to try. He likes my company, but he has to put an effort in to please me in that way. I will always be the chaser. I will always feel like I am more in love with him than he is with me. Please don't just tell me therapy. Please don't just tell me therapy. Let me just make sure I'm not off the screen. Okay, good. Please don't just tell me therapy. I have gone to therapy for decades to heal my inner child, and he hasn't even gone one time. He has so many deep issues from his childhood, and yes, therapy can help, but I know from my own experience it takes years. And even then, it doesn't heal things. It just helps you understand why you have certain behaviors and you try to not do them. All right, and the end. All right, so do me a favor, okay? Do me a favor. Once we finish this session, I need you to go back and leave a comment and recommend this type of sessions for people. You know, people would rather talk about Bala Blue, but you know.
Different from Bala Blue. Blue Bulaba.
But we have to make sure that we are covering more classes like this, okay? So now my question for, if you heard what I just read, what is your advice for this young lady? Okay, what would be your advice for this young lady so far? Hey Chinye, Anna, how you doing? What would be your advice for this young lady thus far? If you were to hear this story, and you know, keep in mind, she said she's the anxious attachment, and the other guy, well, the other person is avoidant attachment. I think there's a book on that. I forgot what the name of the book is now. On attachment theory. I think it's called attachment theory. Right? What is attachment theory? Yeah. attachment styles, attachment theory, blah blah blah. People have a lot to say on what the different types of attachments are. Oftentimes, when it comes to practice, they don't know. It becomes confusing, or they start to diagnose, they start to psychoanalyze their partners. Completely terrible idea. Listen, you can't unknow what you know, right? It's like you can't unknow what you know. Once you know it, you know it. So it's kind of hard. Once you read so many books and you know so much about all this kind of things, it just becomes extremely, it becomes very, very hard to pretend that you don't know it. It's very hard when you see certain traits in your partner and, you feel like you should call it out when you see it. Let's call it what it is, right? It's very, very difficult, right? So it's quite interesting. Let me see if I can show this to you. Let's see. Copy image address. Like, for example, I'm guilty of it right now. Like, I'm about to show you this right now. Right? But again, awareness is key. Awareness is key in all of this. Awareness is key. Shout out to Adewale. How you doing? The question is she ready or willing to wait with him through his years of therapy? Does she want to take the risk? I think she said he has never gone out. I'm not sure if he's willing to go. Right? I'm not sure. This is the avoidant theory right here, attachment styles. I think some kind of version of it, I guess. Secure, healthy relationship with primary caregiver. Shows appropriate distress when left alone. The background noise is too much. Able to seek support in relationships, can regulate emotions and manage conflict in close relationships. That's the secure one. Ambivalent, limited parental availability, distress when left, craves close relationship but struggles to trust, need for reassurance from partners, feelings of anxiety and jealousy are common. Avoidant, abuse or neglect from caregiver, no preference for parental presence. Independent, pattern of withdrawal, a tendency to minimize the feelings of others. They do. Preference for casual relationships as avoidant because they like their space, right? Disorganized, right? Disorganized. Inconsistent parenting, intimate relationships feel confusing. Jesus. Feelings of unworthiness, tendency towards aggressive and antisocial behavior. Those are the attachment styles right there. But anyway, I wanna let me see what you all are talking about. Adewale says, by the way, is loving your partner more than they do you a crime? That's a good question, right? And it's kind of like you're reading my mind. That's a very, very good question. But let me go through the line by line, and then we'll take it from there. Let's go through it line by line, and then we'll take it from there. Let's get back to business. I'm excited. Let's get back to business. We have determined that my husband is avoidant attachment and I am anxious attachment. Okay, so it looks like there might be other versions out there. Okay, just there's so many, right? This is one of the reasons why I tell people to be very, very, very careful with what you're reading and how you're interpreting them. You need to intentionally disengage from all the terminologies. You know them, but ask like a little bit more lightheaded, but also more personal questions. Like, get to know your partner at a very intimate level. This avoidant, anxious, not particularly the meaning of it, but the heavy big words, they get you detached literally from getting to know the person. It makes them just a number. It makes them just an object, right? As opposed to this is a person, I need to get to know them, right? At an intimate level, right? Even if you've been married for 15, 20, 25 years, get to know them. Every day creates a new person in you and that person, and you need to be open-minded about that. Now you can turn around and call it they just changed on you. Sure, if you can do that if you want. But I would definitely advise against that. Everyone changes, everyone evolves. We call it different things. The point is that people don't remain the same over time, right? There's some core characteristics, there's some core traits that remain the same, personality wise, but how they tell their story, how their story is being told, how they react to different environments. The environments are not the same, so you can't expect them to be the same. Social wise, things are not the same. So you can't expect people to show up the same way they showed up 10 years ago. It's literally unrealistic expectations. Okay, and there's some level of pride in that too, because clearly you're trying to tell us that you've remained the same. You never change. You're the same person all the while. Okay, so I'm anxious attachment. My husband is avoidant attachment. Okay, great. I don't know what that means. Let's find out what that means. So what that means is that I am constantly the chaser. Okay, so the woman is constantly the chaser. That can create troubles. Okay, that can definitely create problems. Okay, if a man is constantly the chaser, it's not necessarily going to create problems. It can create problems depending on personality and attachment styles, like they said. But typically, no, because the man is okay with hunting for what he wants. From a socialization standpoint, from a societal standpoint, right? We're okay with walking literally down the street of the college, of university, to go talk to that chick. We're okay with that. Like, a chick will start to look desperate if she does that. Okay? So it's a little tricky, Let me see. D-Love says it's too much work. For the chaser, I am sure she's emotionally drained. Eventually, she will get overwhelmed. Yes, especially for a woman. So is that a crime? No, but if it's going to create a terrible outcome for you, you might want to pay attention to it. That's all. I don't think it's a crime, right? I think it's just something you have to pay attention to. Hey, Life with Natu, how you doing? Welcome. So let me continue. Oh yeah, I didn't share it. Let me continue to share. So she goes. So what that means is that I am constantly the chaser, and I am always the one planning our dates for us to be with each other personally, like on date nights. Okay, to cuddle. Okay. This is a person crying out pretty loud now, right? That they don't feel wanted. That's what it's sounding like to me. She has to plan the date night. She basically has to ask for everything, right? To cuddle, to just hang out with me at dinner, right? Some women want to sit down at dinner table 6:30. And some women like that. Sometimes the way they communicate that is they might start nagging you like, why can't we sit down together with the babies as a family and eat dinner together? She's saying it for the kids, but really it's just for her. Like, she would like the idea. She feels more connected to you when that happens. At least that's what she thinks for now. It's very likely that if you get stuck as a man, if you get stuck on that, right, and you get overly consumed by why does he have to be that way? Well, it's not just that. Oh, it's magical. Once you sit at the table, the family is going to be together forever. Nothing crazy. The family is going to be fine, right? That's not what it's about. It's about what it makes her feel when you sit down in intimate settings like that on a regular basis. You notice I didn't say daily basis. There's a good chance if you're the man in this situation or you've been hearing your wife complaining, there's a good chance that you don't really need to do daily. Just from time to time. The fact is that you don't care for things like that. That's what makes it giving, right? You're literally doing something that you typically don't feel like you have to do, but you're giving it to her. So every other day, 2, 3 times a week, we make all the difference because in our head, remember, it's a feeling. In our head, it's like, thank you, right? By the way, if you did it every day, she probably wouldn't value it. Remember that what is readily available is taken for granted. At the end of the day, these things comes down to feelings. I keep telling you that. Feelings, emotions, right? Right? So, but let's keep going. But this is a person crying out for connection, right? She craves connection. She wants to feel connected to her husband, right? Is that not like one of our basic human needs? That's one of our basic human needs, right? Is this number 4? We all need connection, but some people need 1 or 2 or 3 of these things more than the others. Just pay attention to that. Okay, let's keep going. So I am always the one planning our dates for us to be with each other personally, like on date night, to cuddle, to just hang out with me at dinner and have a glass of wine. He will do those things, but I am chasing him to hang out with me. Yeah. By the way, it can be draining for men too. If they have to chase all the time, it can be quite draining for men as well. It can be a very, very... It depends, especially men of nowadays. They're asking for more and more things like this. Okay, men of nowadays don't have time for asking for more and more intimate, lovey-dovey. I want romance to things like that. They do. Okay, you might find yourself in a situation where you're the woman and you're like, I need my space, and he's clingy, needy, and he's like, like, I want you to spend some time with me too. I want to be wanted. Let me tell you something. The modern man wants to be wanted. The traditional man don't give a oops. They didn't have time for that anyway, But the modern men have a lot of time. They work from home. They have a lot of time. They spend about 5 hours completing the rest of the work for the day. They just have to be on standby. So they're clingy, they're needy, and they oftentimes won't admit to that though, But let's keep going. For a while, I was the chaser for Kerewa, which I hated being the initiator on that. All right. Now, let's be honest. If you want to be intentional, especially intentional with emotional intelligence, there's absolutely nothing wrong with initiating Kerewa with your husband. But I also understand that feelings are feelings. And the way we are socialized is just the way we are built. And it's basically, socialization is not your mate, right? It's not stuff you are thinking about. It's just what it is, right? So you might find yourself like, no, because we're talking about attraction right now. You can't just switch it off and switch it on, right? It's a function of so many things, including the way you were raised, right? That's why a lot of Nigerian women don't care for flowers. They don't care for flowers, roses everywhere. It's like, why are you wasting money? Right? Some of them do, don't get me wrong. Some of them do. Some of them that have been, reading those romantic novels for a long time. They couldn't wait, right? But there's nothing wrong with it. And if you're intentional and you're aware, maybe you can also, maybe you're that close to understand, like, that's my husband. If I want some, I want some. Well, there's no big deal, right? But let me tell you something. An average woman will probably be like, no, it is a big deal. I can't keep chasing you around the house, right? even though they don't mind being chased on a consistent basis around the house. Anyway, and I quote, but he started taking testosterone, and did she spell that? The way I pronounce that is testosterone. Testosterone. Now I'm confused. Anyway, testosterone. And that helped a bit with that. Okay, so maybe he needed some shots of testosterone. It is what it is, right? But anyway, before I continue, let me see what you all are talking about. Shout out to all 17 of you that just came in. Well, all 14 or so. Shout out to you all. I appreciate you. Welcome. I beg, who they owed our likes? Nah, them. That's not a good feeling. Chinye said that's not a good feeling, right? So if in socialization, in spite of socialization, even men get to a place where they get tired of having to do the initiating all the time. I can only imagine how a woman who has to do it all the time. I can only imagine, right? That's got to be quite stressful. Understanding how our brain is set up in society, right? The man is supposed to be the one pursuing, right? Not the other way around, right? The man is supposed to be the hunter, to go for what he wants. Just take it, right? But now, a woman finds herself in a position where she has to do that. Yeah. If she's a typical woman, she can't be in her true essence in that way, right? And when you do want it, it might start to feel disconnection. When she starts to feel disconnected, it starts very slowly. It can take years to get to a point where you start to feel it. And you're like, how come she's punishing you with Kerewa? But anyway, he's not speaking her love language. That's what I can see here. Now, he's not speaking her love language. Can we say the same thing about her? Is she speaking his love language? Because if this is happening for real, you're also just as responsible, right? I don't know. I don't like that word, but you're just as responsible. Because we're talking about marriage right now. You're just as responsible to also seduce him, right? So, what is his love language? Are you even aware of what his love language is at all? Have you tried it? If you haven't tried it, then so it's almost like a two-way street, right? But clearly, he's not speaking. You're absolutely correct. He's not speaking a love language, right? But is it because he doesn't want to? Clearly, he's not attracted. The bottom line here is he's not feeling attracted to her for whatever reason. It could be work. The reasons may have nothing to do with her, right? But let's keep going. Let me see. He's not speaking a love language. That's what I can see here. That's very, very true. But my thoughts is like, is she speaking his love language too, right? Because I like to address the person that's complaining. Or is there a better word for complaining? I don't know. The person that's speaking. I like to address that person because we can't speak for the other person that's not here. That person is probably having a completely different experience, right? So we can only focus on her and what can she do about this. But you're probably right. Chinye says the husband can be showing love by taking care of finances and all the other things she mentioned. Yes. There was more to it. Hey, cool mama. Good to see you, cool mama. Good to see you. It sounds like his love language is acts of service while her love language is spending quality time. Yes. Right. So if his love language is act of service, that means he will only be able to interpret love when he's receiving servicing. What type of servicing are we talking about? My mind just went mad right now. But anyway, right? When he's receiving some type of act of service, right? But is she capable of calming down right now? To calm down enough to say, you know what? I'm not getting what I want, but this is my husband, right? Let me find out what makes him tick, right? And no, we're not talking about where my mind went, okay? It could be anything. We don't know until we engage this person, right? We don't know what we don't know. I think once they understand that about one another, that would help their relationship. Absolutely. Absolutely. But as I always say, there's no such thing as equal simultaneously. We are thinking about it right now. Usually one person is oblivious to what's going on. They're completely disconnected. It's just life as usual. They became roommate as far as they're concerned. They're not thinking roommate, but that's effectively what it is, right? And the other person is like, I'm feeling disconnected. I'm feeling like, I don't know, like he doesn't want me or she doesn't want me. Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, what is she? What is going on? D-Lo say, I love roses. Most Nigerian women don't. They just don't. I've seen enough cases to know that they don't. But I see that quite a few people here are hopeless romantic. They've been reading those novels since 4 years old, right? I personally love flowers and hubby knows that too. That's awesome. I like that. But the key thing is that to not use generalization, right? Hopefully your partner is wise enough to don't generalize when it comes to your personal issues and get to know your partner and know what they like, right? So hopefully that's why generalizations are just terrible. Bad. Ola, I'm one of those African women that loves flowers. Look at them, they're everywhere here. Look at them. Sound like his libido is down too. Yes, if he improves with testosterone, that sounds like on point right there. Sounds like it could be partly medical in nature, right? And a lot of people don't realize that our brain is obviously medical, can be connected. You can be completely not realize that you're not playing your part, right? Hey, Gome, good to see you. She says, hello, everyone. With time, one of these two things may happen, cheating or the end of that union. If an intervention doesn't happen, I love flowers too. I'm a sucker for romance. I see them. Oh. Hey, Ice, how you doing? Ice. Hey, hit that like button. Thank you. Hit that like button. Thank you for everybody that hit the like button. That's how we're able to get the numbers up. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. That person that is whining, yes, that's the person I like to address because I want to help them. I can't help a person that's oftentimes they don't feel like they're doing anything wrong. If people don't feel like they're doing anything wrong, I can call them wrong all I want. They're not here. They can go need two more. Right? She said, lost on the topic, but hope you catch up. No, you catch up. The topic is I'm in love more than my partner. Can we make it? Is it worth it? That's the topic we're covering here. Amen. May God forgive me. Don't mind me. Servicing. Yes. Them demo. Shout out to Sean Mama. I don't really fancy flowers, but surely money, but appreciate I'm small. That she's gonna look at you sideways if you bring flowers home. She'll like, oh, okay. She knows what flowers are. Of course. My wife is one of them. She knows what flowers are. But that flower I'll go buy for that table. She won't take it. Okay. She's like, oh, thank you. You're like, but that's not what she wants. Okay. It's not. Okay. But yeah, let's continue. Hit that like button as you're in right now. Let me leave that on the screen really quickly. Let's get back to it, right? Now, she goes is an incredible father and provider, although I do make plenty of money myself, right? Now, speaking of love languages, there's a good chance that he does not care that you make plenty of money yourself. That's cute. That's nice. I guess I don't have to give her allowances. I don't have to give her money for butter. She can take care of herself. She can buy as many body lotions or skincare stuff, useless skincare. She can load up the walk-in closet with shoes if she wants. But if he's a provider, there's a good chance he doesn't care. There's a good chance that you're probably thinking that he's supposed to be happy and be all heads over heel in love with you because you also make plenty of money. Oh my show. Like he's supposed to, like, I'm a 6-figure woman too. He's supposed to just know and be, you know, like what, like how many of your mates have a 6-figure woman out there, and in his subconscious mind he's like, you know, that's even if it's connected at all. He's probably completely disconnected, right? If you bother him with that, make money, how come you don't do this, or like, can you come and sit at the dinner table with me and make her feel connected? And it's like, connection BT bow.
Halfway.
He's confused. It's like, right? The truth is, a lot of men, they embody when you call marriage duty and responsibility. It's just they become roommates, literally. Okay. Like, yeah, if he needs to knock some off, he will come and bother you at 12 midnight and try to open your clothes. But ultimately, he's right? So, very important to pay attention to. Something you should pay attention to. Again, it goes back to the love language thing that we were talking about, right? He's probably disconnected from that. Like, oh, that's cute. You make good money. My girl is smart. She's smart. Yeah. She's a boss at work. Like, he's proud of you. But when it comes to this romantic thing, it's like, okay, babe, do you want to quit? You can come home if you want. You could do like a little part-time. Don't worry yourself too much, you know. Because she said herself, he's an incredible father and a provider. Anyway, let's continue. He does plan family outings because his family is very important to him. Family, this is a mistake that a lot of men make. Family is much more important to them than their woman, than their wife. Okay, here's the problem with that, okay? It's like you're trying to set foundations, but there are pillars that hold the foundation together, right? In fact, there's one major pillar, like that major pillar that's really holding everything together. But you're like, nah, I just care about the whole house. That pillar go there, all right. You know, do you understand what I just said? Could make sense, right? But that's precisely what a lot of people do. A lot of men make that mistake. A lot of men will put their children before their wives. Guess who's more notorious for that? Women! Okay? Women will put their children before their husbands. Okay? Let's not cap, right?
Stop the cap.
But yeah, men do that too, especially if it's a man who is like, my family is everything, but subconsciously, the woman, she's supposed to do the same thing too, right? But then she starts to feel disconnected. Like Gomez said earlier, that could be the beginning of the end of that marriage. Okay, because when you're feeling a certain type of way, you can look around you, find enough reasons to destroy everything so you can escape. A lot of it is subconscious, okay? So you can escape from this misery of whatever you want to call it. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Natu. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you, Natu. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Let's see. I said, my love language is all, but first one is receiving gifts. What type of gift I say? Is it money? Men don't see it that way, especially when they're doing good. Exactly. If they're doing well, it's not the same thing as they don't appreciate you. It's just a disconnect from how you may feel about what you're bringing to the table, right? It's an emotional disconnect, like, you know. And by the way, he expects you to be in love with him since he's a good guy who is an incredible father, right? Who's a provider. He expects you to, like, why would you be feeling disconnected right now? He's completely like that doesn't make any sense. Like, let him you know. But this is the reality of what's going on. These are the kind of people you find in divorce courts. They are good people. It's just when there's a disconnect, there's a disconnect. When there's a disconnect, there's a disconnect. Okay. Yep. She said, that's boring. We got to keep it spicy. Now, somebody's surprised. Like, what do you mean boring? I'm a provider, a good father. That's boring? Yeah. That can literally, almost, equivalently, unequivocally turn to boredom. Crazy. Yep, we understand. We're crazy. Human beings are crazy because of emotions, okay? And so that's why I said move with some emotional intelligence when you're dealing with these issues. Right and wrong, no go help you, okay? Because there's a good chance that the other person feels like you're wrong too. So you feel like he's wrong, he feels like you're wrong. Two to get two, you're not equal. There's no problem to solve. Right? Let me continue. I'm taking quite a bit here. I'm learning more about this stuff. Sometimes I bring up too many topics and then we run out of time. Today, I promise we're going to be on time. Okay? And for those of you that came in late, starting next week, we might be starting a little bit later. Sorry for the UK people. You can either stay late and hang out with us late nights, late in the middle of the night with us to talk sexy stuff, or you can watch in the morning. It's completely up to you. But I'll be here, okay? Just letting you know up front, okay? All right, so here we go. He does plan family outings, family everything. Family is everything to him, obviously, which, yes, is wonderful. She said, yes, that's cute. Yes, it's wonderful. That's all cute and all. Betty, I'm bored. I don't feel connection. Now, to a typical man, when you say you don't feel connection, it's like, she they want me ni connection BT bawe. What to the connection? We are married. We are married. Kilo me by connection. What is?
Oh my days.
We are connected. Babe, give me a few hours. I'll come and meet you in bed. It's like 7 p.m. right now. I'm busy. I gotta take care of our family, right? And not necessarily deliberately, subconsciously, she's like, oh, more, is this the rest of my life? Oh my, she won't be shocked. But anyway, let's keep going. Well, yes, it's wonderful. That's all cute and all. You're a provider, you're a father, right? This gentleman, I know what you're saying. Like, what kind of life is this? We have incredible fathers and provider, and it is not enough for these modern women. I know what you're thinking, but you're wrong too. But I know, listen, my bad. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay, you're not wrong.
You're right.
You're not wrong, but there's more to it. Just hold on, okay? Just hold on. There's more to it. She said, yes, it's cute, it's wonderful that you are a good father and provider, but he is not madly in love with me. In love or not love? She didn't say anything about he does not love me. Remember, he loves his family. She's acknowledged that. She said he's not, the key word being madly, he is not madly in love with me. The key word is not love, it's the madly part. You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it. Okay, hold on. He says he is, but he is. He said he's madly in love. Of course he said. Of course he thinks he's madly in love. Of course he knows that he's madly in love with his wife. After all, he takes care of his family. So it could make sense. Where's the disconnect coming? What is wrong with these people? Anyway, they're saying that to each other, by the way. He says he is, but after diving deep into this avoidant attachment thingy, I don't think he knows what being truly in love is. Okay, so she's been reading. There's nothing wrong with reading, okay? And I want to be careful with saying all these books, all this. I want to be careful with that. There's nothing wrong with reading, but there's reading, there's knowledge, and there's application, right? And oftentimes people get stuck in knowledge, right? And application is a different ball game. As a matter of fact, application is almost impossible unless experience, right? The closest thing to it is mentorship. Small, dear, but experience, no be your mate, right? Because why? Why? Because it involves some pain. You will go through some pain and then it will reset your brain. Wait, what? All that knowledge stuff, attachment, avoidant, anxious, secure, all that stuff, like in the poto because it's not helping. Why? Because most of those books, they don't cover things like attraction. They don't cover things like seduction. They don't. They just don't. Okay? I don't know why. Maybe, I think it's controlling behavior. Everyone is trying to snap one switch like that and turn their husband to what they want. Right? Especially men. Like, flip, just fall in love with me. I'm a provider. Switch. You're supposed to. It's duty and responsibility. But let's keep going. The human mind, human emotions, no be our mate. Let's keep going. Now, when I stop and I elaborate a little bit, I tend to lose where I stopped. So, pardon me, right? She says, I don't think he knows what being truly in love is. She's using truly in love and madly in love as the same thing, equivalent. Okay? But we'll let it slide. And don't get me wrong. Yes, I understand that feeling of being in love. She understands. She's been listening to Mary Prestige. So she knows, like, there's nothing new you're going to tell me. Like, right? I know that being in love will sometimes fade into more of a partnership. So I am not trying to be unrealistic, but at the same time, let me give you this flash. You will need to continue to be in love with your partner long term. Okay? It goes in and out. It's ups and downs, but it goes up like the stock market. Okay? And sometimes it will crash, but it will pick up again, you know. But it's ups and downs. Higher highs and lower highs, right? If you're doing the right thing, it'll be higher highs and lower highs. For those of you, but it's ups and downs, okay? Why? Because it's human being feelings, okay? Eventually, it almost feels like second nature, but you know that you couldn't do life without this person. You just know, like, okay, sorry, he peed on the toilet. Oh, okay, I'll clean it, right? While the other person is still like, that is annoying, right? So it just depends on where you are in life and so many other variables. But let's keep talking. It's an art. It's not an exact science. So let's keep talking. She said, and don't get me wrong. Yes, I understand that feeling of being in love with someone fades into more of a partnership. So I am not trying to be unrealistic. No one tries to be unrealistic. You just are unrealistic. Okay, not unrealistic. You just tend, as a human being, you just tend to have unrealistic expectations. It's okay. You're normal, like the rest of us. You know, it's not a big deal, okay? I just want you to be aware that you don't try to be. Sometimes you just don't see what you don't see. You can just blind spots. To you, it's like, no, but that's bare minimum. You're supposed to be a man anyway, right? But it's effectively unrealistic expectation. Because sometimes it's not a man. Sometimes, I know, terrible, I know, but sometimes it's like, no, I need my own soft life too. I need someone to take care of me. Newsflash, ladies, yes, we do feel that sometimes. So I'm not trying to be unrealistic, but at the same time, I'm still the chaser in our relationship. Let's go back to the topic. Her being the chaser in the relationship, the man is going to have to be held responsible and accountable for that, because at the end of the day, the leader is going to be held responsible for whatever happens to the ship, to the boat, to the country, to the family. Gentlemen, we're going to need to pay a little more attention to much more than, I love my family, I'm a family man. I just take care of my family, I'm a provider. Yeah, it's more to it, okay? It's more to it. It's definitely more to it. We got a little bit more to go. Let me see how much time we got. But, you know, I have to come back and engage y'all. I can't, but I have to come back and engage y'all. She said, what's Bubwe? Are you trying to speak Yoruba? Oh, Biri. Wahala.
Oh, Biri.
I love Oberyn. I love Oberyn. There's no other way I would I'd want to do this. Okay. It is what it is. Alright. Connection means kerewa to some men. That's precisely how our brain calculates it. That's precisely how our brain calculates connection. You want some connection? Let's connect. Let's connect. You get it? Eh? Let's connect. Don't laugh at me now. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. All right. Let's see. Shout out to Yvette. Hey, Yvette. Good to see you, Yvette. I'm glad that you guys love this topic. I want to do more topics like this. Okay. Not just the trendy bulaba, right?
Different from blue. Bulaba.
Your president-elect. I know. Stay fighting. How about that? I just saw author 𝐌𝐎𝐑𝐄 read his poem on Arise TV. He said, all I did for my candidate, Peter Obi, was stand online. What does that mean? Just stand. Oh, that's all he did? He wasn't able to vote? Is that what happened? I remember watching Michelle Obama on the reel where she said, sometimes one partner will be more loving and it changes again to the other one doing more of the loving on it. This is literally the rest of your life. Welcome to the real world. Yes, she's absolutely on point with that. Yep, that's how it works in real life. Just like every other thing in life, there's no perfect. The way life works is polarities, right? Two different things that come together and they serve each other, right? Like that. That's life. That's literally how life is. The principle that guides everything. I don't know why we think marriage and relationships are supposed to be different. Are people just equally coming? Two different human beings that God created differently. They just equally coming because they're so compatible. And then we're serving each other equally. Because if you don't do that equally to drain the other person, what about focus on yourself? Have you done that? If you've done that, yeah, then we can have a conversation. But if you haven't focused on you on a consistent basis for 3 months, like, don't worry about what you're looking to take. Giving on a consistent basis for 3 months. If you haven't done that, there's really no conversations to be had. There's no conversations. It's a waste of time because what you're looking for is unrealistic. What you have is unrealistic expectations, precisely. That's what it is. It just doesn't exist. Okay, and that means sometimes your feelings are being tested, right? Sometimes you feel like why do I gotta be the one giving all the time? That's just so unfair. Well, you already know how I feel about fairness. This is not something you want to be bringing into these conversations. I think it's unfair that you want a person to open their heart for you to be able to destroy them anytime. I think that part is unfair. Right? But the idea that romantic relationships is too wealthy. Sometimes you're going to feel like it's bending way too much that way, right? No, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's fair because it's the same thing for every single one of us. That you go through marriage or long-term relationships, you will have to go through that phase where you feel like I'm giving so much, the other person is not reciprocating. They don't seem like they care, right? But what can you do about it? What you can do about it is ask questions, and she is asking questions, so that's a good thing. I'm in tears after watching him recite the Yvette just want to talk about her own thing. In the porous gush, that thing is annoying. Now I'm listening to the program for today. Yeah, welcome. Let's connect. Mm-hmm. We show our love differently. In this lady's story, I'm sure she knows some extent how he shows his love, aka long, like you guys mentioned. It's all part of what makes our unique DNA. Yes, you can know these things and still be struggling with them. You can know this thing and still be struggling with those things. So yeah, let me get back to it. Let's see. So yes, I feel that he would protect me. She feels like he's a protector. Take care of me like someone takes care of their child. She feels these things. She know that he's a great man, right? Provide for me, be there for me through sickness and health. But I will forever miss him, desiring to be with me alone. Desire is the key thing for her. This is a point of contention. She doesn't feel wanted by this man. Okay? She doesn't feel like he's attracted to her anymore. Okay? She feels like it's all come down to duty, responsibility, his family. His family means excluding me and my little kanji, whatever is going on there. It might not be kanji at all, right? But attraction nonetheless, right? That's a disconnect, right? We don't know what this is yet. We still don't know, but let me keep going. But we know that desire is one thing, right? Right? She says she will forever miss him, desiring to be with her alone. He would do it, but he has to try. Meaning it's not natural, because we all understand attraction is supposed to feel natural, right? But it's absolutely something you can influence. It's soft. It starts with your awareness. Just understand that human beings, we crave attraction. We want to be attracted. We want to attract others. We want to connect. Not just career wise only, but we want to feel like we're wanted, right? Now, how do I know that? Because even as men, if you do career and you feel like she's just lying there like a log of wood, you're like, what the hell was that? Jesus Christ, I'd rather would have just go and use lotion in the bathroom or something, right? Why? How? Because you're imagining other people in your head, right? At least the imagination is better than doing, for a typical man, than doing anything with the person that's just lying down there, right? Because we want that connection. It's just that we say it differently, right? And for some of us, we have to try the other one before we realize that, no, I don't want to do that kind of career again. I want you to be involved, right? So if you've ever tried to force your woman, like she said she's tired, but she said, okay, fine, come and take it. You know that after you were done, like you were like, what the hell was that? Right? But he has to try. She doesn't like the fact that he has to struggle so much to desire her, right? He likes my company, but he has to put an effort. Listen, attraction and effort, they are enemies, okay? Why? Because effort just seems so forceful, right? Like you're forcing a person against their what's the word? Not desire, but against their will. You want them you want the will to be there. That's what makes it sweet. The fact that this person just wants you and you only, we all want it, but especially a woman who is paying enough attention to realize that that's not happening for her. That's no good. You're not getting a quality woman either. If you're like, no, but she should just deal with it. But that's not what you want, right? Because she still will receive, multiply, and reciprocate. It just may take time. You might not be able to stop it when it starts to get to you and you start to feel some type of way, right? But again, for the ladies that you might be dealing with this, we're talking about attraction. You can't force it. You can't flip a switch and it's just happening, right? You're just going to have to re-engage your power. Like we've been talking about for days now. What is your power? That's a good question, right? I think we mentioned a little bit we talked about love language, right? But love language is not about knowing yours, right? That's cute. You know yours, you know what your love language is, but it's about knowing what your partner's love language is and using it to seduce them. When I say seduction, I'm not talking about manipulation. A lot of people's brain goes straight to manipulation because they are manipulative people themselves. It's not about manipulation. It's about you bring value. You understand that the result you're looking for is going to be a function of time, value, process, and patience. Okay? Patience. Because why? Because there's a process, right? Meaning you can't just say, hey, I tried that last night, it didn't work. You can't just say that. If you say that, that was exactly your problem. That right there was your problem. Okay? Because it shows up in every other area of your life. Let's keep going. But he has to try. He likes my company, but he has to put an effort in to please me in that way. I will always be the chaser. I will always feel like I am more in love with him than he is with me. A lot of young people are asking this question: who needs to be more in love, the man or the woman? It becomes a gender competition, right? If you're asking this question and you're engaged with this question at this level, you're probably more in love with other people than yourself. You probably lack a healthy level of self-love, and what happens? You start to crave and you try to drain other people, and it's not going to work. Okay? Man or woman, if you're asking this question, who's supposed to be more in love? Listen, if you have adequate self-love, you don't care. I'm open. I'm loving. I'm giving love because I want to. God damn it, I want to give love. That's where your mindset needs to be at. Now, the way life works, it's almost impossible that you're loving a person from this place that I just described and they're not loving you back. It's almost impossible. Okay? It's almost impossible. But again, we're talking about attraction, so it's not a light switch. Okay? Let me finish this. I will always feel like I'm more in love with him than he is with me. Please don't just tell me therapy. No, you're right. I won't just tell you therapy. We'll just bring you to a YouTube video, I guess. I've gone to therapy for decades to heal my inner child, and he hasn't even gone one time. So again, just like she's stuck on anxious attachment, Jesus Christ, avoidant attachment, right? Anxious attachment, all those psychological terminology she's stuck on. Like, I know you're about to tell me therapy. Well, it's not about telling you therapy. It's about what problem are you trying to solve? Exactly what is the outcome that you're looking for? What does that look? Can you describe what that look like so we can help you reverse engineer? What is point A? What is point B? What is point B? It's going to be a process to get there, right? When somebody says, I've gone to therapy, don't tell me that, what they're looking for is a light switch. And this is a problem. This actually will perpetuate the problem, because at the fundamental level, you don't understand that everything in life that's worthwhile is a process. Okay? You heard that from Mr. Obi today, right? It's a process. The process is actually much more important than the outcome you're looking for. He has so many deep issues from his childhood, and yes, therapy can help, but I know from my own experience it takes years. No, it doesn't take years. No. It doesn't have to take years. It depends. Again, what is the outcome you're looking for? It's all a process. It's a journey. If you understand that it's a journey, therapy don't take years. What do you mean it takes years? You're in the journey. The problem is being solved in real time as we go. It's a journey. What do you mean it takes years? What does that mean? Years for what? What is this outcome you're looking for? Are you looking to get to paradise or something? Because that is part of the problems. You're looking to flip a light switch. Like she said, she was right in the beginning. She said she is the anxious attachment. They are so anxious, they want to fix everything now. And that translates to needy behavior. And yes, a man or a woman will continue to run away from you when you are moving like that. When you're moving in such a way that you're not content with self. Like space for yourself. Never mind the other person. How about space for yourself? How about time to calm down, relax, take a shower? You don't have to answer every question right now in this moment. This is a big issue that will show up in other parts of your behavior, other parts of your life. Let me finish. It takes years. She completely hates the idea that it takes years, when in reality, it doesn't take years, okay? You get on that journey, you're on the right path. You just have to keep going. It's the path, it's the journey, it's the process. And even then, it doesn't heal things. She's given up on therapy. There's a good chance that she's tried therapy for 2 days and she's like, yeah, F this shit. It's not going to work for me. I need answers now. right? It doesn't heal things. It just helps you understand why you have certain behaviors and you try to not do them. Exercise, it helps you learn how to cope with what? What is coping? Is coping an actual outcome? Is coping actual, like if you're able to cope with the nature of your personality, how you are as a person, is that results? Can we call that results? Can we call that results? What do you desire? Sweet banana. Yes. D-Love. Chinye, hello. The poem of his is he recited brought tears or please hit the like button. Thank you. I appreciate you. Honestly, I think you should back off of him. He will chase her if he does. You just spoke my thoughts now. On her backing off for now, she should back off absolutely, because attraction needs a little bit of distance and space. You need to, the way Christians like to hear this is like, you need to allow God to work on him, right? You're anxious, like attachment anxious theory, blah blah blah, right? The anxiety will absolutely kill attraction. Absolutely. This is an absolute statement, okay? Anxiety will kill attraction. I will start from that first before I move any further, right? And I will stop demonizing therapy immediately. Therapy no be your mate. Therapy is not the fixer. Therapy does not create solutions. Therapy helps you unpack the solution that's inside of you. Therapy helps you learn yourself. It's a journey. You can stop, you can come back, therapy does not spit out, oh, your problem is fixed. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. She should focus more now on herself. Absolutely, that's correct. Focus more on herself. And that's a very difficult thing to do, especially for people like them. That's a very, very difficult thing to do. Hit that like button, I beg. Hit that like button. Thank you. Hit that like button. I appreciate you. Hit that like button. Let's make sure we have at least 23 likes up there. Thank you. Yeah, she should back off for now. Backing off and pretending that you backed off and then watch. Let me see if he's ready. That one will not work either. That won't work. Okay. There's no such thing as vacuum in life. Okay. Not even in the outer space. Okay. There's no such thing. At least space is occupying the space, right? When you do back off, you need to fill it up with some kind of activities to take care of yourself. Yeah, you need to. I'll definitely do that now too. You need to fill up with some kind of activities to take care of yourself. Okay. It needs to be something you're passionate about, because if you're not passionate about this, you remember the anxious thing, your husband is supposed to do this, is supposed to do that. In fact, you might end up with people that will tell you that it's so wrong. You should be able to leave him. Leave him. They will tell you to leave a man who is a good father and a provider. Like they're about to marry you. Down alone. Oh. Don't listen to them. Oh. It's letting you know right now. Be careful. Be guided. Okay? Be guided. Let's be very, very careful when you're listening to advices out there on social media. A lot of there's too many situations that is just misery love company. Too many. Okay? Sometimes they don't even mean to harm you. It's just what it is. Misery does love company. Okay? They don't know your story. So when you admit that you have anxiety issues with regards to if your husband is in love with you or not, we got to fix that first. Self first. We got and fixing that is not fixing. It's like taking care of yourself. Like being able to take care of yourself in a sustainable way. Back off, so because anything that's readily available is going to be taken for granted, right? So the fact that you're in his face all the time asking him, can you do this, can you do that? If you stop right now, stop asking him immediately right now, that anxiety will transfer to him, because he's not used to you not nagging about that. And you can't fail this test, okay? Somebody's like, Ola, are you telling women to back off of their husband. Why we're all right, okay? Woman, we're all right, because at the end of the day, this thing will be your mates. Eh? This thing, the way it works, is not about right and wrong. I keep telling you that. Right and wrong belong in the court, right? When you cross that red light, somebody will take you to jail if you keep crossing red lights. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about human emotions. You need to pay attention, okay? Controlling behavior will not work. The only power you have is your power to influence, particularly when you know how to engage that power. That's all you have. And you do have that because clearly that person married you. But clearly you don't realize you have that kind of power. You feel like you have to flip a switch. It's not going to work. Could it work? It's not going to work. You need to calm down. What you can do here is, number one, disengage. Okay, disengage from this activity. Can you come to the dining table? Stop asking for these things. For now, at least for now, back off. Back off, because the more you trying to hunt like a deer like that, the more they want to run away. Even men, we don't chase. We teach people to pursue, right? That means you understand that you value time, patience. It's a process. It's okay if they say no right now. No problem. It was nice to meet you. I'll see you around, right? Neediness is terrible. Neediness kills attraction. Anxiety will kill attraction. Okay? Attachment as a thing will absolutely kill attraction. All right? I have my sister here. Hey, Natu, how you doing? Wait, she just disappeared. Literally, she just she disappeared. Oh Lord. I came in late, so I must listen on replay from the beginning, paying attention. Thank you, Yvette. I appreciate you, Yvette. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
How are you?
I am good. Sorry, I'm driving.
Oh,
So I was just listening to you, but I just wanted to share real quick. And you
yes.
made a point that was like very vital.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been married 6 years, and my husband was in Nigeria for 3 years. We married. He was there for like almost 3 years before he moved here.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how the thing is with adjusting and the rest.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I wanted the guy like to just change and do everything I want like automatic overnight. So it was like so much fighting, and I feel like we weren't like communicating like as much like as we want about what we want. So there are some stuff that I blame myself. Like I just want him to. I'm just like you're supposed to know this. You understand? But the guy is not a soothsayer. So late last year, and trust me, he's a great guy. But so when he doesn't just understand what you want and you're not getting him, he just blows out. So I think late last year. For my 40th birthday, I gifted myself a meeting with a therapist. I started seeing a therapist.
Okay.
And then she'll listen to me like I'll say everything. And one day she said to me, "Let's talk about you." So I was like, all right.
What do we mean? We're supposed to tell him he's wrong.
Exactly. So I'm like, you don't know. I did this. I did that. She's like, no, let's talk about you. I think there's some traumas that you need to treat that you're not treating and you're taking it out on this guy. I know he has his, but we need to address something.
Yeah.
So as I go to the therapist, I decided to pray and fast and ask God to help me. Because at some point, I think that everybody should just go his way. This is not working. Like, let me tell you, I said stuff to him like, you're not being intentional. I don't think you want to do this. And when I prayed, like honest prayer. And then I remember one night I heard something God said. I was complaining about him and God was like, pray for him. Mama, I took it personal with God. Will pray. I said, God, do you know what he did? Let me tell you. He cares. Pray. No, it was a problem. I'm like, pray. So who will not pray for me? That thing kept coming back like 3 times. Like 3 different times. Pray for him. So I started praying. And then another thing I did again was that, like I ceased saying anything bad about him or complaining. And then I started working on how I react to situations like when they happen in the house or when he does something wrong to me. So I'm going to tell you this, your show and Auntie B's show like really helped. Some people have no idea. Bro, I started working on my emotional intelligence. You have no idea. So I remember one day this man did something and he was waiting for me to react and I didn't react. And he peeped and he said, Are you okay? I said, "I'm
Wow,
okay."
wow.
I said, bro, let me tell you, I know how to love myself.
That anxiety just transferred to him. Yeah, that's what that
Bro,
is. Now
I
he's
know
worrying, like what happened?
what
Like who is this person?
when I tell you I know how to run my mouth, I run my mouth for a fee.
Until
So,
you are
but then
tired, until you drain yourself.
bro, let me tell you. So, but I took control of my emotions. I
Mm-hmm.
stopped complaining about what I expect from him. I started working on me and the stuff that I want to do, the stuff that I need to do to make me a better wife. You understand? So I
Yeah.
quit the complaining. So I started working on myself. Like when I mean serious work, I did a serious homework on myself. Like even if the man himself could not believe it. So I
Yeah.
understand her point of what she's trying to say. But honestly speaking, if she work on herself, the guy
Herself.
she'll be forced to see it. He will be
Yeah.
forced to see it. Like there's
Yep.
no how this guy will look for trouble just for me to talk.
Yeah, because
I will not
he's
talk.
used to your trouble, and,
Yes.
and and then suddenly you're just gonna stop, like,
Nah,
and
nah.
that's what I mean by influence, and you have that power, and it's not a switch, right?
I was doing a lot of watching, a lot of research, a lot of studying and emotion, and I was doing a lot of praying too.
Praying is
Honestly
good.
speaking, yeah,
Praying
I was
is
doing a
good.
lot of praying for myself because I know myself. Like I can be a good girl, but please don't look for my trouble. You know, so so I just wanted to throw it out there before it just
That's awesome.
keeps out of my mind. Yeah, but that was what I did. It helped me. We're like in an amazing place right now, and he himself, like he's forced to work on himself now without me
Yeah.
pushing him, without
Yeah.
me saying anything. I didn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
Anything. The other day I found something on the floor that's my, I'm like, babe, why is my this on the floor? He just went like, I can't piss my wife. I'm like, Jesus, is that you? Is
Yeah,
that you?
exactly. Yeah, because it's
Yeah, but
influence. It's influence. That's
yeah.
how it works. If you come with your best, right, and then even if he's an evil person, like a lot of people try to claim,
Yes.
then we
Yes.
can now see clearly without the filters of you having
Yeah.
your own issues too, right?
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
can't even see through that because we haven't saw through yours first, you know?
Because and then sometimes like we just need to just look at the good thing and what the person is doing. Leave the bad. Focus on the good.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Put
Yep.
your energy on the good and leave the bad. And lastly, I'll just say so. Saying this, I worked at a job for 6 years, right? And there was a position. The person that's supposed to be my supervisor, payroll manager. I thought I was gonna get the job, and they hired somebody else that I had to train the person. But I was so pissed that I wasn't offered the position. And
Right.
then you know what God told me? He said you didn't give them a reason to hire you for it. I was just working doing the bare minimum. I didn't want to put extra effort because they weren't paying me
Oh,
enough.
see, you see?
Yeah, so I was
Yeah.
because it was like put effort. If you
And,
put
and,
effort,
and
you're
bare
gonna
minimum is fair. That's what
yeah,
that's my issue with fairness. Bare minimum is fair. You were doing the fair thing. They pay you for this. You do that.
yeah,
What
yeah.
do you want from me? My right is the promotion, and life will teach you very quickly that no, it's not your right. There are
And you know,
many people.
sometimes doing it, you're not even doing it for the other person. You're also doing it for yourself.
It's for
You're
us
doing it
all
for
the
your health.
time.
You're doing it for your mental health because if I tell you that I'm in a better place, with my mental health right now, you would
Yeah,
not even believe it. Like I just go
I
to sleep
believe
and
it.
fall asleep. If
Not
stuff
to you
happen,
get it. It's actually very
my
simple. I believe
my
it.
husband, my husband will be wondering why some things happen and I'm sleeping. Like I just go and bath and climb bed. I'm like, good night.
You get to take all the credit for that, not to. You get
Nah,
to take all the
yeah.
credit for that, you know?
I'm like, bro, I can't do this. But
Yeah.
that was what I did, and I just feel like if there's anybody watching, if you're with the person, right, the person is not 100% bad. Put a little energy on the good side. Work on yourself, not the
Right.
person.
Right.
Work on yourself. Work on
Yeah.
the thing that you want to see the other person give you. Work on it and give it to the other person.
Right. Right. If it's not their
So
love language, if it's yours, give it to yourself. Take care
yes,
of yourself, you
yes,
know?
yes, yes. Because I
Yeah.
had a complaint of love language too. I'm like, what's my love language? Do you know what my love language is?
Love language is the poto.
Let me tell you something. Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, but that was my experience. So
That's an
I'm gonna go
awesome
back to the
test. That's
comment.
an awesome testimonial. That's an awesome
Yeah,
testimonial. Anyway,
yeah.
you said you're driving, right?
I'm home already. I'm just
Okay,
gonna
you're
go.
home. Okay, just hang in. I got a couple of
All
things
right, let me
to.
put on
We're
mute.
gonna finish on time. Yeah.
Okay. All
Um.
right.
All right. So we have that was a good testimony, don't you all think? That's a good testimony, right? She very emotional. He's a cousin to close friends that are siblings. Exactly. You guys are talking your own stuff again. But anyway, shout out to you, Natu, for that testimony. That was awesome. I'll be right back. We got a couple more things to, but she made a good point, which is what is it that you like about this person? This is a very hard question to answer. Most people are focused on what they don't like about the person. Remember, we're not talking about random strangers on Instagram, gentlemen. That's not what I'm talking about. Your wife. I'm talking about your husband, ladies. Okay. What is it that you like about this person? That's what you need to be focused on. What about all the things I don't like? Bro, you don't understand it. This is emotional issues. Those things that you don't like, it takes a little bit of effort to focus on the things you like. Those things will disappear into the background and they will actually do the work on it, right? Because they're so confused too that they're confused. They're wondering like, how come you stop complaining, right? So the whole thing is a journey. The fact that you've gone through the phase where you were nagging to is not a bad thing because it creates the frame of reference where suddenly they're like, what happened to her? What happened to him? He's not complaining. He's not needy. Like, back off. That's why I tell you, back off. Let's allow God. And prayer is good. I'm not really a prayer person. I'm not. You could tell in my rhetorics that, the credit I give to prayer is that it actually helps you to back off. You can't be praying at the same time be nagging your partner. It's impossible. But so it helps you to back off while you actually hand over the work to Mother Nature, to God, whatever you want to call it. Helps you. People let the person you married is still the person you married, but sometimes you just end up in this funk, and you're like, what's going on? But that's just life. But if you understand this concept of back off, it doesn't have to be a permanent decision. Just back off small. Put all that energy into working on yourself. What is that certification you've always wanted to do? What is that other thing you're supposed to focus on? Focus on those things, healthy things, right? And then you will see a difference. And that difference might even be a test to help you fall so fast back in love and start sucking them up and smothering them. No, slow down. Easy. You want them to want to come towards you. That's what you want, right? And you can. Okay? I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Shout out to Cool Mama. She said, I can relate with you, Natu. I did the same. I put that energy on working on myself and it's working well. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's good to know. Shout out to our new member. We have a new member, Sean Mama. Sean Mama, shout out to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining the membership. Membership is open. All right, so to demonstrate this, a lot of time we put too much focus on the differences between men and women, which there are differences, and I highlight them when that's necessary. But this concept is actually true on either side. Go into a relationship to give. Listen, give or take is life anyway, but that's not seductive by any stretch. Stop saying that it's give or take. Listen, focus on giving. If you feel like you're not getting, give to yourself. Focus on giving start by giving to yourself. Be able to give to yourself. And then you give to the other partner. Naturally, you yourself said it's give and take. They will reciprocate. But if you're focused on give and take, what happens is that you end up smothering them. You will choke the life out of that attraction that you have in that relationship. You
Although
know?
you know also, right? If you
Yeah.
show yourself love, the other person will see it. But if
Yes.
you're not worried about yourself, you're just focused on getting, that's what irritates some people. But you have
Yeah.
to know, I have to fall in love with myself. When I mean fall in love, like I
Mm-hmm.
fell in love with myself, giving myself attention, me time, doing some
Mm-hmm.
little things for myself by myself. Like you have to do it for yourself. You have to show yourself that love that you want
Yep.
others to give you. You attract what you know.
Yeah. You. They mimic the level of self-love and self-respect you have for yourself. We can start that. Sometimes we need to break it down to pieces for people to get that. But literally, people mimic the level of self-love and self-respect you have for yourself. If you are complaining about disrespect, there's an extremely good chance that you have been disrespectful to yourself, that you lack self-respect. But let me get into this story. This story was on Instablog Nigeria today. Shout out to Instablog Nigeria. Shout out to Prophet 𝐌𝐑𝐄. For this video I'm about to play, it says why it's important to sow seed to your wife, right? Again, sow seed to your wife. I think that's actually much more beneficial. Personally, I think if you're a man, listen to this very closely, okay? Because women, again, they are multipliers. Whatever you want, peace of mind, bruh. If you're not getting peace of mind, there's a good chance there's something there, okay? We may not be able to pinpoint it. You may like, that don't make no sense. Some women are just, if you can't see my hand, there's middle finger up. These women are just unruly sometimes. Okay. Exactly. See what you said, that energy, it's being multiplied for you. Thank you. Let's play this.
You see my wife, you think I just take her and say she's my wife, I sow seed to my wife. I will sow seed, she will start speaking in tongues. This is my wife here. See her. I saw the seed one day, she spoke in tongues. She said, I don't know how she spoke the tongues. I just woke up, I sent money to her account. Anointing increased. She said something. She said, why won't I be submissive? Oh, why won't I be? Some submissiveness now money go buy her. You are here telling your wife, respect me. You know they give her money to eat food. Where will the respect come? Sometimes you just provoke something. I buy wine, I come to my wife, give her. There was a time I was buying wine for her she said, this one you are giving me wine. I say, eat, libe, not the keta, libe.
Chi, you have to tell me what that means. It sounds like evil.
Don't you know that as she is happy, she can say, oh God, this is my husband. More dimension. She might say that, women, their joy now 1 hour. After 1 hour, they don't forget.
All right, let me go to
You
this
see
one.
my wife, buy them car. Yeah. Give a woman land now. Oh, my honey, I love you. The next 2 minutes, say, don't try, not because of that thing you give me. Oh, I'll change them for you now. I'll change them. What is there? What is 10 million? She don't have. Women are lie, I mean, are true. God bless you. Buy them car. Yeah.
All right, so the point is this: sowing seeds, right? You can look at this in any respect, ramification of life. The men carry the seeds. We have millions of them. We're carrying them around in our sacks, and if you don't understand that this principle is applicable in every area of romantic relationship, you will collect. You will just suffer for no reason. You will be busy asking, she's supposed to. Listen, if women, like based on what Natsu just said too, if women have to kind of obey this principle to a large extent, especially at emotional level, what will make you think as a man that you don't have to do this? Now, it sounds like a joke because he's saying money. No, it's not just money. It's literally every aspect of life.
Man of prestige.
Mm-hmm.
So my husband, when he offends me, right, and his ego kicks in, he doesn't want to say he's sorry. He will wake up like on Saturday morning, he will clean the whole house and mop everywhere. See, I'm telling you, no matter how upset I am, once I don't see that,
Is that your love language? Is it act of service?
Acts of service is one of my love language. Physical touch is another one.
Which one is the primary one?
Acts of service.
Act of service. Okay, so he gets it. He understands
Yeah.
it.
So he'll clean the whole house, mop, do laundry, and then another thing is that I don't like cooking. I will cook, but I don't like cooking. So any day that he wants to get something, I'll be like, oh, I'm tired. Like, you don't have to cook, I'll order. Order. So for me, like, it's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
One for me is like, it's a sowing of seed too. Like, I don't have to cook today. Wow.
Yeah. Because it's again, it's emotions, right? It's not stuff you get. It's like you're excited. It's like that smile is coming on your face, and you really don't want to smile, and somebody is tickling you, and then it's going like, it's exactly like that. Like if a man understands that, right, he doesn't have to worry about a lot, right? Unless we're worrying about he was attracted to Instagram 4-corner booty chick, then that's on him. If we're talking about a typical wife that you married that you fell in love with, then they don't just fall out of the skies and start changing behavior. There's a good chance that you haven't paid attention. Okay? And if you're not patient enough to pay attention, that's part of the problems too. She just said, make a roll on back. Let me see if I can find that. He said something in Igbo.
I say she's my wife, she's my wife. I sow seed to my wife. I will sow seed, she will start speaking in tongues. This is my wife here. See her. I saw the seed one day, she spoke in tongues. She said, I don't know how she spoke the tongues.
Okay, that part is not Igbo.
I just woke up, I sent money to her account.
Oh, is it?
Anointing increased. She said something.
No, you said the Igbo now. You say it.
Why would I? Some submissiveness now money go buy her. You are here telling your wife, respect me. You know they give her money to eat food. Where will the respect come? Sometimes you just provoke something. I buy wine, I come to my wife, give her. There was a time I was buying wine for her she said, this one you are giving me wine. I say, eat, libe, not the keta, libe. Okay,
what did he say there, Chinye? Eat, libe, all the kita, something like that. May God help me. And I took Igbo in GSS1 though. In Akuna's college.
Really?
For those of you.
Really?
I did. I don't remember she by not even 1, 2, 3.
I took Hausa, I beg. That one, even from my sleep, I can do it.
But you took Hausa. I took Yoruba too. What's your point?
No, well, we did Yoruba, but the man is always beating us, so.
So you just want to run.
You just want to run.
Voila.
Oh my God.
Oh man, yeah. So let me see some of the comments here. Diagram says a partner who feels appreciated and loved will do much more than expected. So many people are disconnected from this. Now, granted, sometimes people have gone through very painful
I think they're missing the point.
You said what?
I said I think they're missing the point.
Yeah, they're missing the point because sometimes, listen, these things are going to be tested in a place of crisis. Like in moments where you really don't feel like giving to this person. Right? I think that part, we need to talk about it, right? In moments where you really feel like this is completely unfair, why should I be the one to seduction around at his son? You're like, why am I the one doing that, right? Why can't they just be nice to me, be kind? What is so hard in being kind to your partner? You start to hear questions like this, and you're right. Here's the part that you might be wrong, right? The human emotions no be your mate. Once you understand that, you realize that that's a powerful thing that you can actually use in your favor, right? He said something just now. Sometimes you just provoke something. That's what I'm calling seduction. Maybe my words is different, right? You provoke it not directly, not by saying you're supposed to respect me, right? Just by understanding that you have much more power than the physical stuff you're seeing. See, these are some of the people's problem, right? You think your power is just the physical stuff, when you know the tangible stuff. You don't realize that there's something that's unseen that you absolutely can influence. He calls it provoke. I call it seduction, right? Over a period of time, no, not just touching her in a certain way and blowing in her ears, and then licking her neck. Your wife may not like that kind of stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, we're talking about you've done something a few hours before she actually pulled your neck closer and licked me right here. That part is what I'm talking about. Not the other way around where you think you read something in a book you're going to practice on your lady. It might not work. Okay, because actually something I didn't mention, part of it that I didn't mention is listening. You have to learn. The person that can teach you the most about how to create a relationship with them is the person you're trying to create a relationship with. That's the best teacher. Okay? Let me see. He said, Ribe, Odi Kita means chop, chop, Ade now. Now, let me see if I can link it. I'm not sure how that links to what he was saying. Let me see.
Yeah, see her. I saw the seed one day, she spoke in tongues. She said, I don't know how she spoke the tongues. I just woke up, I sent money to her account. Anointing increased. She started.
I get it now.
Why won't I be submissive? Oh, why would I?
That is a fact.
And money go buy her. You are here telling your wife, respect me, respect me. You don't give her money to eat food. Where will the respect come? Sometimes you just provoke something. I buy wine, I come to my wife, give her. There was a time I was buying wine for her every. She said, "This one you are giving me wine." I say, "Eat, libe, not the kita."
Go down, eat. Never mind, right? I get it now. It makes sense, right? Just chop. Like, because he knows he has foresight. He can see beyond the moment, right? And just take care of yourself. I got you, right? What's more seductive than that? When you know that somebody has your back, when you know that, whatever it is, they have your back, right? So that's some of the things that, let me see. Sometimes, okay, this comment rises to the top because they get popular, right? This person says a partner who feels appreciated and loved will do anything. There's probably somebody arguing inside there. Let me see. Let's see. Okay, they're just saying absolutely correct. They don't know. Okay.
No, Percy, can I say something?
Yes, anytime.
Another thing that I noticed, right? See, people are raised differently. And sometimes before you start going off on your partner, you want to check their background to see how they grew up. Did they grow up in love? What kind of things they faced? And I'm gonna give a little example. My husband talks about it too a lot of times, and that's why I'm talking about it. But their parents passed when they were younger, so they split them to relations. You understand? And the relations didn't treat them good. So he has problems with even connecting. When we were dating, anytime I tell them, "Oh, he just called," they're like, he didn't make a call. He is not a caller. So it took me work and patience to be able to understand. I give him time to come around with the call. So most times I do the calling. Most times I'm the one that do the calling. But if I call, he'll pick. So sometimes some people they're not there emotionally.
Yeah.
I feel like since he provides and do other stuff, I think he's making effort. But sometimes again, they don't even know how to do it or what to do.
Yeah.
So this is where it comes to you focusing on yourself and working on yourself. They look at you and they learn. Because that ego that they have will not let them go outside to go tell someone else that this is what I'm struggling with. But if you're able to do it because they're vulnerable with you to some certain extent, they'll be able to take that initiative from what you're doing and maybe do better. So.
Right. And anything in life is two-sided, right? Two-edged sword, right? So for every time you have somebody that has some kind of child trauma that may affect how they connect, is understanding, because that one thing you're resenting is also good in other aspects of life if you're patient enough to lean in and learn, right? That same issue, like abandonment issues, right, can actually become, if you understand it, there are ways you can flip that to a good thing, and you can now establish connection, because at the end of the day, if the person feels served, if they feel like you have their back, feelings, okay, not what you think it is, their feelings, right? If they feel that way, then they will obviously connect, because they don't have a choice at that point. They don't get to control what they want to connect. You get to take credit for that. You get to say, I understand this person and I can almost make them connect to them. But somebody's going to take me out of context with that and say, how can you make a person? Okay, well, all right. But let me see. This person. Listen, I know all the angles, so it's all good. Respect is earned and not forced. Some men don't know this. And then the alpha. Once somebody calls themselves the alpha, you know what time it is. Usually they're not alpha, but let's keep going.
Yes, they just bruise, just massage their ego.
Yeah. Respect is earned, but to your husband, respect is given same was as you give your parents respect. If your man don't respect you in return, then why married him? Because let me explain this to the alphas that are listening to me. You can be in the middle of a relationship and some events will transpire and a woman can start to lose respect for you. It's not really a choice. Okay? If she's well aware, she might know enough to say, listen, babe, she might not be put into exact words, but she'll be like, when you do this, it makes me feel unsafe. I don't. That's the way of her saying I'm about to lose respect for you. You might not have the listening ears, or maybe she doesn't want to tell you because you get angry, right? But effectively, she will lose respect for you. People do get into marriage and end up losing respect for their partner. That's what we're talking about. So this idea that don't marry a person you can't respect is in the poto dead on arrival, because everybody marries somebody they felt they respect and will continue to respect. There's some exception to every rule. Okay, there's a chick out there who just wanted your money. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. As a matter of fact, from today on, we don't talk about that here on Men of Prestige. Okay, we don't talk about a situation where the exception of the rule. Some women just want to take your money. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about authentic people, real life good people, men and women. Sometimes there's a disconnect in communication. Sometimes there's pride, that creep into the situation, unrealistic expectations, and they find themselves in divorce court. That's what we're talking about here. The exception, the extreme situations when I won't talk about, like that day that somebody pulled out a knife and listen. If I want to talk about that, I will just show you a thumbnail that will bring in 200 people here right now. We won't get to the real conversation. Okay, so we don't talk about that. He says if your man don't respect you in return, then why married him? Why married him? Because she respected him. And things happen in life. It could be, gentlemen, it might not be your fault at all that she started to lose respect for you. It might be our own childhood trauma too. But it's not a choice. It's not a deliberate move. When you start to look at it that way, it's only natural for you to see her as evil. And in other words, when you see somebody is trying to be evil to you, you get defensive. Meaning you become offensive to them, right? So you are now in an active war. Now, why would you want to do that? Does that make any sense? The only reason why you should do that is if you make sure that this person is actually being evil. Then I always say the only thing you should do for them is destroy them anyway, right? How do you destroy them? You destroy the marriage certificate. That advice should go to you, right? If you find out that you marry somebody that's evil, go and burn the marriage certificates, okay? But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about situations where people actually married a person that they respected, but then they cheated once and then it became very hard for them to respect that person, that they're not a man of their words, right? Things like that is what we're talking about. It happens to the best of us, and we have to pay attention to these nuances, because for as long as you keep looking at things as right and wrong, we've got a problem. He says, I'm sure y'all are desperate or carried away because of financial benefits. You see your life? You're thinking that the guy was talking about money. You couldn't read beyond money, right? You didn't hear the part where he said you have to provoke certain things. You couldn't read like, how can I not submit? Oh, your mind just calculate that as she's submitting because of the money. No, it's not. Okay, you're wrong there. Let's keep going. Marry a man that will respect you. Must your, we know them, the American people. Must understand that respect for your man is given, not earned. No, it's earned, my nigga. It's earned 100% of the time. That's how you fool yourself. Go ahead, Natu. You were trying to say something.
I think the thing you made a statement earlier. Yeah. Oh, golly.
Don't worry, you bring it back again.
When I remember, I'll bring it back.
Yeah, let me read this reply. Somebody replied, said, oh, well, guess you didn't. You remember? Go ahead.
Yeah. So it was about forgiveness when you were talking about forgiveness. So if one thing that you have to learn when you enter into marriage is learning to forgive.
Yeah.
And I think it was Samuel L. Jackson. One time somebody was asking him how him and his wife were able to be together for this long. Mm-hmm. And he says that anytime the other person offends the other person and the other person says, I'm sorry, they just have instant amnesia over that situation. Like it's gone. Like they don't bring it up. There are no times that you remember, but you just don't bring it up because the person has sincerely tell you that they're sorry. So like forgiveness is one thing, because I can remember stuff.
Let me shock you.
He shock you.
Let me shock you, so it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny that you finished it by I can remember stuff after you said everything you said.
No, I'm telling you. No, no,
Wait,
no, I'm just
wait,
saying.
wait, wait.
No,
You
I'm
said
just saying
everything you said, and
no,
then you
no,
said,
no.
"Oh, I can't remember stuff."
No be juju be that.
No, no, no. Matter of proceed. What I was
I
saying
didn't hear
was
you.
that I had to work on forgiveness. You understand what I'm saying?
I
Like
hear
I
you.
don't know how to let go before
Right.
getting married, but getting
Uh-huh.
married now, I have to like learn how to let go. And
Yeah.
also, if I don't want the other person
Let him
bringing it
go.
up, I have to learn not to remind the other person of what they've done. So
Right.
now, if I don't remind them, I'm not enabling them to say it back to me. So that's basically
So,
what I'm
so
saying.
I agree with you. It's something that women in particular need to be
Leave
extremely
Obiri
aware.
alone.
They have to be very. You have to be extremely intentional about forgiveness. Listen, I'm of the opinion that you can't. I tell men you can't manipulate people into forgiving you. That will work against you. They may tell you they're forgiving
Never.
you, but it will creep back up again if it's not backed by change behavior, right, and consistency, right. So it's just like the same spirit around. I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry is useless if it's not backed by change behavior and consistency, right? But a lot of people put a lot of weight on just forgiveness by itself. So in effect, effectively try to manipulate the other person to forgive. Like after all, I've said I'm sorry. Why can't you just forgive me right now, right? Precisely because of what you said last. Women don't forget. Okay, they don't forget every time that they experience the feeling, just the feeling of that connects with the feeling of the last time you offended them. They'll bring it up. It's a frustrating thing for men, right? Men can never really understand why. Like, wait, why'd you bring that up? That's not what we're talking about right now, right? So I hear you. Forgiveness is anybody that's going into marriage definitely needs to keep forgiveness very close to their heart, as in like I might need this sometimes in a toolbox. Like I might listen. Oh, there's gonna be days that I might need this. So good point. Good point. Let me see. You forgiving me, right? Not to you did it.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. I
All right.
have.
I'm like
I have worked
crickets.
on it. I have. Trust me.
Let's see here. I'm sure you all are desperate and carried away because of financial benefits. Marry a man that will okay. He said that. Then somebody came and responded. Oh well, I guess you didn't understand the message I passed, but I will make it clearer to you for better understanding. Before you quote, you all are desperate, carried away because of financial benefits. I meant some husbands want their wife to worship, respect them. Forgetting is a two-way thing. If the wife is respected too, I see no reasons why she would disrespect her husband. Do have a nice day. Now, here's the other side of this conversation. We've had this conversation before, right? Respect, men do crave respect, kind of like how if you have a Nigerian parent, kind of how they think of respect, right? Like, is that God, man, women, children thing? But it doesn't change the fact that it's earned 100% of time. Gentlemen, if you find yourself in a space where you have to preach this to women, I'm multi collect already, Nia. Call work. It's already too late. It's already too late. The more you ask or you have this rhetoric that the alpha has, the worse it gets. The worse it gets. It's not that alpha is all the way wrong. They tend to be right from a theoretical standpoint. Yes, men do crave respect in that manner.
You're right.
But in real life, when it's playing out, you run your mouth like this to your wife when you can detect that she's clearly not, she don't fancy you right now. You just collect more by talking like this, okay? You need to refocus your energy back on earning that respect, because you get to take full credit for it when she starts to respect you again. When she gets back in her femininity, you get to take full credit for it. When she becomes submissive, you get to take full credit for it if you understand that trust, submission, respect, what's the other thing? Femininity. It has to be earned 100% of the time. It actually feels better when you know that you're a man enough that she's in love with you. for no that she can't even explain it, right? As opposed to no, she did it she just knows that's what she's supposed to do. Listen, women will do that anyway. They will even argue for you right now. They will listen to me. They will argue for you. That's not going to help you, gentlemen. Listen to me closely. You need to pay attention to your power, and your power is not in you running your mouth. It's never been. Sorry, unless you're creating content. I just give myself an out. But yes, any words here before I go on to the next and last story? Natu.
No, I think I've said basically all. Yeah. So and then I think you always say this, like sometimes we have to manage our expectations.
Yeah.
So sometimes we just go to marriage with the idea of like, oh, the husband is the sole provider. He has to do this. He has to do that. He has to do that. But now you don't think of the husband as the sole provider doing everything. He also needs fertilizer. It's like you having a farm, like planting.
Exactly.
You have to fertilize to get a good crop. So
Exactly.
there are efforts that you need to put. There are stuff that you need to do to ginger the man into doing what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
there are times that you have a good soil, good fertilizer, good seed, and you put it, but you still not get a good result at the end. So
Because nothing is guaranteed in life.
that's right. Does this stop you from farming? No. You clear the farm, start another again. So that's what
Exactly.
it is.
Exactly. Everything I say here is easier to say than done. Nothing is guaranteed in life. But it's an extremely good chance that you haven't ever done it. So why don't you try it first? I'll be right back. Let's get into the next and last one for the day. Hey, Natu, have you seen the prediction that Apostle
So Lily,
Apostle
we have this?
Suleiman Apostle Suleiman gave us for the election? Have you heard? Did you hear her before the election?
no, what was that before the election that he gave that?
Yeah, it was before the election.
Is he the one that said that Atiku was the one that was going to win?
No, that's not
Oh.
it. He didn't say Atiku was going to win. This one was a little bit different. See, Apostle is always coming to us in a different angle somehow. He didn't predict he predicted something else about the election, right? And, I thought I should play this. He did say he was obedient. He said him and his family, they are obedient. He said that weeks ago. And he said, if you like. But I think he's treading lightly these days. I think he's trying to watch.
Oh, he has to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because,
he's trying not to get himself in trouble.
Yeah, it looks like the noise did a bit too much,
Yeah,
so he's trying to watch himself, But
he
he's
doesn't
still
have a choice at this point.
Yeah, but he still managed to make a prediction. Let's just listen to it, and then
Okay.
I figure we're already leaving that election story now, but I figure let's just talk about this real quick, and then let's see.
We are expecting an election on the 25th of February, which happens to would be a day after the fire night, and we know the instructions and the law. But let me just be honest to you. On the 25th of February, I don't see any election.
Hey.
Yes, I don't see. I've checked it.
Jesus Olua.
We have to. Why are you looking at me like that?
That is God.
3 times I've asked the Lord about it.
3
God
times.
was silent. And when God is silent, you see, as a son in your walk with God, you get to a point you understand God.
Jesus.
You walk with the Holy Spirit, you get to
God.
understand certain things. You talk with that things I ask the Lord for. I know when His silence is because He doesn't want to talk about it, and I know when His silence means forget it. We have to pray, because the forces that want to shift the election want to perfect their agenda. So we have to pray for God to frustrate them. Are you following me? That whatever they are working out, God will frustrate them. A lot is happening behind the scene. You are not aware. A lot. Because some people feel they can never leave office. Praise the Lord. When I talk like this, some of you are panicking. What if?
She
Calm
what?
down.
What?
Right now, you should be used to certain things.
And
Pray.
this one
I
church,
repeat
she full.
it. Pray hard. We will pray. We'll continue to pray. The reason I'm saying
Yeah,
that,
it's
I'm not saying
empty.
that
They're just
because of
empty.
election. I'm
That's
saying
why they
because
have
of our
to.
fire night.
They have to prophesy Shani. If they don't prophesy, they're not okay.
God, Joseph, my concern is fire night, okay? So by next Monday, next week, we'll let you know if we're going to, the day of the week, we're going to have it done. But the Lord told me when I was in the US, He said, son, as you get back, there are some people that when they are coming to church, they leave their ears at home. That's why Jesus said, that's ear. Because not everybody brought their ear to church.
Halfway.
God told me that on Monday, which is tomorrow, I should have a communion service. Now, communion service and service like that, if you watch us well.
He said he asked God 3 times.
And God did not say anything.
And that means
God doesn't want him to talk about it. And
it's not happening. There's not going to be February 25th. Now, that's convenient. We know Nigeria is notorious for postponing their election. But it just so happened that this year, he's wrong. He's wrong.
That's really sad.
You think so they're wise?
I'm done. Sulele.
Oh my God. Just
Wahala. Yeah.
Wala.
Oh Lord. Anyway, that's it for today. That's all we have.
Apostle Suleiman said something, and my pastor said it too. They said these ministers just need to be careful how they talk about stuff on their platform. Talking about things you see just because you want to get people, like, this is very delicate, honestly speaking. And people are not understanding.
It's because they're empty, they're desperate. They don't. There's so much they can teach the body of Christ without going into this kind of stuff. I don't understand.
I said yesterday, people are even missing this whole thing. And somebody said that on Auntie B's show that she prayed to God that if God should let Obi win, that if God not let Obi win, she'll stop serving God. I said, no, you people are not understanding. Yes, I said in 2015, God did not want Buhari to win. But you know why God allowed Buhari to win? Because they had a plan. And God did not want the person that will get in power to suffer it. He wants them to suffer it. Those bandits, it was Buhari and El-Rufai them that brought them from Niger.
Because these were thugs that they used for other reasons. Right.
So they felt like if the guys are around, if Jonathan wins, they will use them to create havoc. And then God said, you know what, I'll give you deal with them. Who suffered from the guys? And let them suffer now. Like they deal with them. El-Rufai was frustrated at some point. He wanted to run away. He said he was going for study leave 1 year before another election. They refused him and they denied him. So sometimes we're not understanding that some things are a blessing and a curse at the same time. I said APC has planned. God wants them to wants their plan to backfire on them. But now we're not understanding.
Even the more reason why it's very important to understand that is it gives you patience. If you know that if you know that you have a disappointment in life, what Natu just said will not be true for you if you continue to give the devil credit for it. You just find yourself in a funk, you be crying. It's okay to cry, but you won't get over it, right? Because you just think the village people are out to get you. They just want to do this, they want to do that, right? It's funky. But if you understand, like, every disappointment is a blessing in disguise, now you put your head down and you go back to work. As opposed to getting lost in the funk of it. Anyway, now to give me your last word so we can round up the
I'm just gonna say, everyone stay positive. Love yourself, show yourself some love. If you feel people are not giving you love, give that love back to yourself. There's no better thing than that. And whatever you want to see out there, you attract what you give. There are times that you might not. There's some metals that some magnets cannot hold really well because they're fake. So you just need to understand, that you are the magnet, but there's just something wrong with that metal. So.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything after that. Thank you so much for coming.
All right.
I appreciate you. Talk soon. Bye. All right. Yeah, it's pointless for me to say anything after that. All right. Thank you so much for everyone. Shout out to Natu for the $20 super chat. Shout out to Sean Mama for becoming a member. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one, and peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.